Hey guys, today we are doing something a little different and a little bit fun. Today we are making Molasses Spice Lemon Cookies. Now today I'm also joined with my husband.
Hi, I'm Sir Wade.
He is the king of baking, well, at least in this household.
Everywhere.
He is
the king of baking everywhere.
He's the king of baking everywhere. Harry Styles, watch out. But also, to throw a little razzle dazzle into the mix, we're going to be doing a Q&A sprinkled throughout this video to like spice things up and have some fun. So you guys send in questions over on Instagram. We're gonna answer them. They're really good and, you know, great chatty questions for baking. And one final thing, a huge thank you to today's sponsor of this video, Tidy Cats. I'll be talking about them more later on in the video and maybe like throughout the Q&A because I have some questions about them as well. And now, are you ready to bake?
Oh, I'm ready to bake.
What do they say in the Great British Bake Off?
I've got a recipe called Paul Hollywood's Treacle.
Girl, that's not what I want. Hey Google.
Hey Google, stop.
Hey Google, stop!
Sound good.
Hey Google, stop it.
On your marks, get set, bake!
So there are two parts to this cookie. There is the cookie part, the actual delicious goodness, and then there's a filling part that goes inside and like really delivers it, drives it on home. So we're gonna start off by making the cookie portion. So step number one says, whisk flour, baking soda, cinnamon, ginger, salt, and cloves together in a bowl. Now those are all dry ingredients, so we're just going to do that in a little regular glass bowl. Do you want the mixer or do you want the bowl?
I'll take the dry goods.
The dry goods it is. And I am going to take on the other one where I whisk melted butter, 1.5 cups granulated sugar, molasses, and egg.
Also, if you want to make this at home, we're putting the recipe down below. In case anyone hasn't baked before, something you should know about flour is you can't just scoop it because then it packs the flour and that's not how you're supposed to measure it. So you have to kind of just sift the flour. I don't have a sifter, so you just scoop it and then pour it back into your cup. So there you go, 1 cup.
With the melted butter, you want it melted and cooled. So we're gonna dump that on in. Okay.
Salt.
Now we're gonna crack our egg.
Whoa, you can do that?
Yeah?
You can do the one-handed thing?
Yeah?
Gordon Ramsay over here.
I know, I mean, it's like I should have my own YouTube channel or something. Half a cup, 1 cup, and 1 more half cup. I guess I'll just wipe the sugar right onto the table.
I'll get it later.
Yeah, we'll clean that on up later. Ew!
See, that's what my grandma always had. She always had this molasses, so I know it's the solid one to get.
Oh, this is the one then. Ooh, that's looking good.
Let's take a question. I want to answer questions because I know things.
Ooh, this is a great one to start off this Q&A. Do you have any advice for how to start content creating?
I think that the thing that gets people tripped up is that they always think they have to, like, this is what I struggled with. I thought, like, I have to make a new thing every time. Like, I do animation, that takes a long time. It's a really long process to try and make one video. So instead, just talk about the process of making something, even if you don't actually make it.
Everybody has their own perspective, their own style of things. That experience, that perspective is so valuable.
Anybody could make a batch of cookies, but it's how that person goes about the cookies. Anyone can do the action, but only you can bring yourself to the process.
Ooh, I like that. Don't worry about trying to get all like the best gear, like making sure you have a great camera or like this or that. Oh my gosh, if you guys ever have watched my first video.
I thought my video was like super high quality, very nice. It's overexposed, there's no microphone.
You don't get good at something until you practice it, until you do it so many times and you improve slightly each time, and over time, it adds up to so much. Our molasses mixture has been whisked. So now we're going to stir the flour mixture into the molasses mixture until incorporated. Incorporated.
Until Monsters Incorporated.
So usually when I'm like whisking a dry into a wet, I do a little bit at a time so it doesn't clump too much, because otherwise you get a lot that gets stuck in the whisk.
The other problem is if you put it all in at once, it'll
Yup.
Yeah.
So now we are going to cover the bowl tightly with plastic wrap and chill until firm about 1 hour. Best piece of advice about planning a wedding, or one thing you wish you had known. It was so wonderful to be surrounded by our friends and family, and we had so many people. We had 250 people there.
Aside from that, didn't go that well. If you can do it yourself for cheaper, you should.
Yes.
Because we saved a lot of money because it just made everything.
I like DIY'd everything. I even, for the flowers, I didn't get a florist. I went down to the LA Flower Mart, bought all the flowers, made my own floral arrangements. We only spent, I think, $200
Yeah.
for
What do flowers normally cost? $3,000?
Thousands. I wish we had gotten a day of coordinator. I think that's one of my biggest regrets. I think we wouldn't have had any of like the major problems we had if we had had a day of coordinator, just really making sure everything was set up, because it was me who was the day of coordinator. I was like running around in my wedding dress.
I kind of wish we had done like a tech rehearsal, run through, something like that.
That's another thing. Get like a microphone.
Couldn't hear us.
No, nobody could hear any of our vows except for like the first row of people.
Because I had to like, my groomsmen and my groomswoman were all super helpful and helping. Like we were at the venue, like setting things up. We didn't have, like, oh, we need an extension cable, we need a power strip, we need this and this. People were going, we were going shopping. Like then I had to go get ready. I was late.
Yeah, I think you were like 30 minutes late to the wedding. I wonder if people thought you weren't gonna come. The last thing I want to say about our wedding is like, the whole point of the wedding is to get married, and with all of this going wrong, it was definitely like, oh no, this is not like perfect, but like I kept just being like, well, if we get married at the end of the day, like that's the purpose of this. And we got married, so we succeeded.
And lucky for us, no one else knew what our plans were, so when things didn't work, they didn't know they didn't work.
Nobody had any idea. We were like, oh my gosh, this. Nobody realized anything, and they were like, yeah, that was a great wedding, and we were like,
meanwhile,
really?
we think it crashed and burned, but everyone else had a great time, so no one
Exactly.
really...
Do you love your short hair or do you regret cutting it? Looking to chop it off? Girl, chop it. I don't regret cutting my hair at all. I've had long hair all my life except for when I was a child and had this great Lord Farquaad bowl cut. I just wanted to try something different, and it just made me feel so happy. It made me, I don't know, I really love having short hair. I think I am throughout my life just gonna fluctuate between long and short hair just because I love both so much, but I don't regret it one bit. I love it. Ooh, okay, this one's a good one. How do you and your husband decide on chores, cooking, and money matters?
Kind of just lined up really nicely where the things that each of us is good at and enjoys doing, the other hates. So I like the kind of accounting side of like the money management and the logistics side. She hates it. She like
hate it.
Anytime we have to have a meeting about it,
I run. Ugh, I don't like it. You don't mind dishes. I hate dishes.
I hate laundry because I hate folding. I can't do it.
I love laundry.
She's great.
I think it's just so therapeutic to like wash and then you take it out and you fold it and you hang it, and it's like in a Disney movie where like the princess is like putting her clothes on the clothing line. That's how I feel. I'm like, it's so fun. And then for everything else, we kind of just either split it up or do it together. It's not too bad. It's a nice divvy.
Yeah, like she used to hate doing the litter box. Actually, that's a perfect segue.
Yes, that is a perfect segue.
So our sponsor for today's video is Tidy Cats.
Tidy Cats.
They sent us a new litter box for Luna because we used to have a regular litter box, and now it's like this litter box that folds open and it has pellets instead of litter.
I'll put a video right here.
It's so much easier.
There's less waste. So when you're cleaning it, you don't have like these giant clumps of anything. It's just like there's a couple pellets and you put it away, and then that's that. You're not throwing away tons of stuff. You're not buying a ton of product. I had someone ask, does Luna's new litter still give you the dust cloud when filling her box?
So for anyone who's like never done a cat box before, like when you have like a big box of litter, it's just the sand. You pour it in to fill the box and you just get this horrible, it smells like litter.
It's just the worst.
So the answer is no, that's not an issue anymore because you just have these nice pellets and you go, and they're just there.
And then I actually have a couple other questions that will just like, ooh. Someone said, I'm sensitive to scents. Does the new litter that Luna's been using contain any added fragrance?
No. And that's the thing,
really nice.
because like with litter, it is a particle, like dusty kind of a thing. It's like a sand, and it can kick up, and it has to smell good when that happens, so they add it to that. But with pellets, they're just like, essentially what happens is when Luna goes, the liquids just flow through into like an absorbent matte thing that captures the scent. The solids clump up in the pellets. And then that's what makes it so easy to just kind of scoop them up, filter the pellets out, and put it. It's so easy.
It's just so easy. It's like quick. Before you'd spend so long cleaning the litter box, and now you can do it in like 2 minutes. It's like,
we both used to hate it, and now I don't think either of us really minds it.
no, it's just like something you do really quick and then you're done. Last question, how does this stop litter being tracked? Basically, as compared to litter, which is a more like lighter weight particle, and it's small, and it just kind of gets stuck on like your cat's paws, it gets tracked everywhere. These ones are pellets and they have a heavier weight, so they don't get stuck on your cat's paw. They just kind of sit and they stay, and they just do their own thing. It's really easy.
They don't stick into her paws or her fur.
If your cat tracks litter, if you find, oh, hi, you heard us talking about, that was great timing. If you guys haven't met Luna yet, this is our cat Luna. She's the sweetest thing ever. She sheds a lot,
Yeah, she
and
does.
she loves her litter box. Bye. Yeah, so basically, if you guys want to check out Tidy Cats, you guys can check them out below. It's such a great thing if your cat tracks litter everywhere, if they have litter paws, bringing them into the bed, if your litter box is just like smelly and you don't love it and you just want something that's easier, more sustainable, honestly, because you're getting less waste every time. You don't have tons of like clumps, as I said, and it's just, it makes life easier and just better. So if you want to check them out, link is in the description. And thank you to Tidy Cats for sponsoring this video.
Are you ever planning to adopting another cat in the future? Love watching your videos.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know why I think it's your videos.
Well, you're a part of them.
I am. Yes, Luna needs a friend / brother sister.
Yeah.
So that is in the roadmap. I
Need
wish
a
you
cat
could
used
like.
to the space.
I wish you could like bring a cat with you and be like, who do you like? What do you think?
How to get out of a creative rut.
Ooh. Well, that's something that everybody deals with for sure. So if you are creative and you're like, I'm stuck, I wonder if anyone else, yes. I feel like most good creative stuff is like you're seeing things, you're hearing things, you're experiencing life, and then you can like kind of distill it down and boil it into something creative and you're like, ah, this gave me an idea, da da da. So when you're stuck, one thing is to go back and get some life, which is harder when you're stuck inside, but like, watch movies, watch TV shows, like go back to kind of what inspires you and what you enjoy watching. Just like take a break, step away, get fresh eyes,
Yeah.
take a breath, and then like go find something, whether it's like inspirational or literally just like watching people out a window and going,
Yeah.
that was funny. Oh, you know what? That gives me an idea, and that can kind of help spark new ideas.
Take a shallow dish and we're gonna put our remaining half cup of granulated sugar onto there because we are going to roll our dough in it. Oh my gosh, look at all of this sugar, holy cannoli.
I like this one. What were your favorite activities when you were a kid? What do you got?
Me? Okay. So growing up, my family didn't have a lot of money. So my brother, Joshua, and I, we would get kind of like creative with what we would do, with what we like would play with. So one thing we would do is we really wanted a kite, but we didn't, our parents wouldn't buy us a kite because we didn't have money to buy a kite. So we made our own kite. So we'd take a plastic bag and then we'd attach a string to the bottom of it. And then when the Santa Ana winds would come, so the Santa Ana winds, in case anybody's not from Southern California, are these like intense, crazy winds that come a couple times a year and they blow like crazy. The wind speeds are insane. My grandma's shed flipped into her neighbor's pool. Everybody kind of expects like their garbage cans to like fly down the street unless you put them away or like lock them down. Santa Ana winds are crazy. So on these windy days.
It's like the closest thing we get to tornadoes here.
Yes, true. Did you have Santa Ana winds? No, you didn't.
No, I grew up in a valley. No, the valley protected us from the winds.
Gotcha. We would take these plastic bags, tie strings to the handles, and then like throw it up in the air, and we were flying kites. We'd always build like ramps. We'd ride our skateboards down them. The bike that my brother and I shared, we ride it down like this DIY ramp. It was like a piece of plywood, probably like this thick, like 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
And we put that on cinder blocks. Just ride down it and stuff. Honestly, it's a wonder we didn't break any bones. What about you? What were your favorite activities as a kid?
Definitely video games, but more creative stuff. I'd bike around a lot. I'd walk a lot. I'd like go on these walks and climb mountains and stuff. Because in the desert you have like these big like rock mountains, and so I just go climb those. And a lot of like water stuff, like if you could. Like it was just so hot all the time. So if you could, I mean, you'd get in trouble if you had the faucet, like the hose on for too long, but you know, water balloon fights and things like that.
Oh, water balloon fights. I feel like that was every like Southern California kid's dream, a water balloon fight. It was like the best thing ever.
That was like a birthday party treat.
You and your sister, Alyssa, you guys would like have contracts for stuff?
Yeah. Alyssa, if you're watching this, you can validate this. Yeah, so she'd come in my room and she'd take my stuff, and it was awful. I hated it. And so I had her sign a contract stating that she could not enter my room under certain premises without warning, blah, blah, blah. Some amount of notice has to be given. And she signed it. And of course, she would break the contract, and I get all mad. Mom, she broke our contract. And my mom's just like, what? What now?
How old were you guys?
So she was like 4.
When you expect a 4-year-old to hold up a legal contract?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, this is it. This is the last one. Okay, we can pop those bad boys into the oven and bake for 8 to 10 minutes.
All right.
All of our dough balls are done. I would definitely recommend that you don't need an entire half cup of sugar. We have so much, and there's a lot of sugar waste. So I would say you probably could go with a 1/4 cup or even maybe less than that, and then just add as needed, but you don't need the entire half cup. It says it makes 42 sandwich cookies.
That's not true at all.
These are too
These
big.
are supposed to be way smaller.
We're going to just half all of these. We're gonna see if we did it wrong. Oh wait, we need a new question.
Nah.
I wanna see if I can do it. Oh, I did it! Was that impressive or what?
Cookies.
Cookies are done! First batch is done. Now we're going to make the filling. So for the filling, we need 3 tablespoons unsalted butter, softened, 2 cups of confectioner sugar, AKA powdered sugar, and 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. We're using fresh off the lemon juice. Something interesting that I read on Twitter once, and I've always wanted to try it, never have. I read that if you microwave a lemon for like 12 seconds or 10 seconds or something, you get like twice the amount of juice. So let's see if we actually get more juice out of a heated up lemon. Yeah, try that one. I wanna see what you think.
This is stupid. I spent so long on that dang lemon.
That was wild. I really didn't expect it to work. We've got our original first batch where the cookies and the size of the little dough was not so
Bigger.
little, it was bigger. And then we have the ones where they're smaller. So what camera do you use to videotape and how do you edit your videos? So the camera that I use for my videos, the one you're watching right now, is the Canon 60. The lens is a 16 to 35 millimeters, so you get kind of a wide lens, but you also get a little bit of that more blurry background. And then I also use the Sony, what is that? The Sony
A4600.
A4600, and I quite like that for like vlogging, and I have a very wide angle on that. I think it's a 10 to 18, so you get like a super wide thing, so I love that for thrifting because you can see like all the racks or like any vlogs. I really like that for that.
Also, all gear used, microphones, cameras, lights, all that kind of stuff is linked below. There's a link to something.
Oh look, we each have one extra.
Oh, and they're kind of the same size.
Wow, boom. Last question before we let these sit for an hour. This one says, relationship question. How do you keep each other... Hi, Luna. How do you keep each other positive, lift each other up? Thanks.
I lift her up like this. It's being flexible with priorities and allowing things to shift. So when you've got a lot going on, and like when you both have a lot going on, you have to figure out when something's not going great for one of the people, what can be shifted to give more like time,
Or
resources, and support to that person when they need it, so you can kind of reshift some stuff.
Or to ask the question that might be like a little bit scary to say, like, hey, have I been being a good significant other lately? Have I been being a good partner? And like allowing that space for feedback and conversation where it's not like scary, like, hey, you've been like this, like, hey, how have I been doing? And that opens up the conversation to be like, oh, like, hey, I think we can work on this. Hey, I think we can work on communicating, or whatever it might be.
We do a lot better when we actually like make time for each other.
We really carve out time.
We're kind of bad about just like working a lot. We're both kind of workaholics in that we will just get into a project and get really focused on that project. So setting aside time that we both know is like, Friday nights is movie night, or Tuesday night's date night, or whatever it is. Just having set time that we know we're gonna hang out.
And then it's like guilt-free time to hang out, because it's like, okay, Friday nights are actually our movie night after, I think it's what, 6:30 or 7? 7. After 7, it's us time. We're watching a movie, we're gonna make a snack, have dinner, hang out, and it's not time that I feel like I should be working, because it's like, oh, I can fit in hanging out with my husband, or oh, I can fit in this. It's like, no, I'm specifically carving out time to like
plan for it.
Hang out and like be. Been about an hour and a half. We've let it sit. The filling seems like it's really firmed up and they are looking good. I have to show you. Take a gander at this. It looks so yummy. Now we're gonna do the taste test, and I'm going to grab one for me and one for my husband. He's actually doing his live stream now, so I'm gonna just kind of intrude in on the stream, and we're gonna do a live taste test, I guess on stream as well as here. Knock, knock.
Hello?
Are you ready for a cookie taste test? Oh, hi stream.
Camera reception.
Cheers.
Mmm.
You're so good.
The lemon's nice. The lemon and the sugar.
It like comes through so perfectly.
It's like the lemon gives you that tartness, but the sugar makes it sweet again.
Yes. It's a very perfect blend of like, oh, Luna's biting my leg.
Huh? She
Why?
wants some. She wants some for herself.
She wants some. So it's like a perfect blend of a little bit like tart and sweet.
Worth it.
Worth it. So worth it. And I didn't think they were pretty easy to make, pretty straightforward.
They were. Did you show the failures?
Oh, I have not shown the failures. So I do have some last bit.
What's happening? She just transferred to me.
Luz, what you doing, girl? She's like, going down. I'll show you some of the fail cookies we made because there were some fail ones. And the general tips we have from this video, but overall would recommend this cookie. Very delicious. Thank you for being a guest star on my video. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the kitchen. So, final verdict. Final verdict on the cookies and my last few notes. So I am really pleasantly surprised at how these turned out. They are so good. They're delicious. The texture of the cookies turned out really perfect, and I think the flavors blend through well. However, I do have a couple notes. So the first thing is I would recommend not baking 2 trays at once. So we baked 4 trays of cookies, and we had 2 trays that were perfect. They were these ones. They turned out beautiful and perfect. But we also had 2 trays of tragic cookies that turned out terribly. So it was like top and bottom. The bottom ones in each batch turned out so bad. Now the reason we think so is the heat kind of just got trapped in between the 2 trays and it created too much heat. This almost looks like it should be like a caramel or something. It's so thin. Terrible, terrible cookies. Now compare this to this. Very, very different. Exactly the same, except for these ones were baked on the top rack. These ones were baked on the bottom rack. So I would recommend bake 1 tray at a time so you avoid any sort of heat trapping and overcooking any sort. Now the second thing that I would recommend is if you like lemon, keep this filling balance recipe. I thought it turned out perfectly, but if you don't like a stronger lemon flavor as much, I would say take the 3 tablespoons the recipe calls for and bring it down to 2 tablespoons, or maybe like 1.5, just because the lemon flavor is very present. I really like lemon and I think it's perfect in this recipe, but if you don't like lemon as much, if you kind of just want a more subtle flavor versus a more present flavor, definitely reduce that lemon juice. That is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this first baking video on my channel. I had a great time. I know my husband had a great time. He would be here doing this outro with me if he was not streaming. Today's quote of the day is so cute and I love it. So today's quote says, "Happiness is letting go of what you think your life is supposed to look like and celebrating it for everything that it is." I love this quote so much. I think it's an amazing reminder to just think of all of the amazing things we have in life to be grateful for. There is so much good in our life, and even when, bad things happen, that's like totally normal and that's okay. But also, it's good to remember how much good you have in your life. So think on that as we go into the week. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'm definitely a bit apprehensive to try a new style of video, but so many of you guys have been wanting to see cooking and baking on this channel. Also, a huge thank you to Tidy Cats for sponsoring today's video. So happy to work with you. And if you guys want to check out Tidy Cats and their awesome litter box that we love, that Luna loves, that just has made our life a whole heck of a lot easier, that will be linked down in the description box for more information, to check it out. It's sold on Amazon, it's sold on their website. I hope you have the most amazing rest of your day. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.